Welcome to Serenity Wealth Now with Chris Cooper. This is not your typical financial radio show. As a licensed CPA, insurance agent, and investment advisory representative, Chris coaches his clients on a holistic view of financial well-being with an objective of providing a complete financial strategy to fund life's goals. Chris is here to guide you down the path to the financial serenity you deserve. Now, here's Chris Cooper.
All right. Good morning, folks. So today I am pretty excited because it's not often I get to have a few drinks while I'm doing the show. But I feel like when I have one of the Grillo family members in studio with me, I feel like a old fashioned or a whiskey or something is part of the experience.
Absolutely.
Right? So, Lindsey, thanks for coming in. Mike's been on the show with me before, but we were like, hey, we need to get Lindsey in today.
I'm a little upset that you didn't ask me first.
Well, you should be in here first. That's fair. I get it. That's okay. But you're here now.
Yeah,
so
thanks for having me.
We'll take advantage of the time.
Sure.
So, how is your old fashioned, by the way?
It's stellar.
Yeah.
It's just what I needed at the end of my workday.
Recipe.
Yeah.
So, for those that don't know, Lindsey Grillo is one of the members of Grillo's Chop and Barrel out in Lake St. Louis. And they've got some pretty exciting things going on. But let's talk a little bit about Grillo's and what makes Grillo's special first of all.
Yeah, sure. So I'd say what makes us unique is that we bring two of our favorite things, which is meat, barbecuing, entertaining, and of course, bourbon and whiskey. Yeah. We have many other things too, besides just the whiskey and the meat. We have wine, craft beer, cheese, bread, anything you can think of. But
it's not a full selection. It's a very curated selection of really high quality stuff too. Which I love and appreciate because I like the good stuff.
Absolutely. If you're going to spend the money on it and work hard on grilling it, it's got to be good. Yeah. So I think when we had this idea, we just kind of ran with it and we said, why not bring two of our favorite things together, put it out in the community and see how it goes. And obviously it's gone good so far. So
Yeah, what, 4 years now?
It was 4 years last September, so it'll be 5 years this year.
Yeah, that's right, because you're really in your fifth year.
Yes,
your birthday celebrations are always amazing.
Always huge, yep.
Fantastic, nice music, great tastings, wonderful experience, and a special release that was delicious.
Yes,
awesome.
Every year we have a blacksmith, our friend Russ over at Blacksmith that does his own stuff. He makes us a single barrel every single year, and it's always different, and he always surprises us.
I thought last year's was very good. Unfortunately, it's gone. I probably needed it. And you told me to get some.
I did. I warned you.
I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
Maybe next year needs to be 2, apparently.
Yes, it goes quick. And once they're gone, won't get it again.
That's the line that did it right there. That's the line. So you guys, and I've talked to Mike about this, the quality of meat that you guys, it's a very special meat as well. Now, do you get involved in that too?
Mike explained it a little bit as to why
You just know it tastes good.
Exactly. I wasn't really knowledgeable on the, the quality of certain cattle. And so he, of course, being the hunter and, the farm boy that he is, he was really good at just explaining what made the certified Hereford beef just better. Yeah. And of course I'm like, okay, to me back then a steak was a steak. You cook it right, then it should be good, right? So I was pretty ignorant to how good the Hereford beef is. It's just better. It's superior. It really is.
Yeah, it is. 100% agree. Now, all right, so you also mentioned something about you cook it a certain way, right? So how do you cook a steak?
So for myself, I prefer medium rare. I know that's very polarizing.
Is it though?
Some are very bothered.
I don't know. Most of the people I know that are real steak people are a medium to medium rare. So
Mike's usually, I'd say, around that medium rare point too. Yeah. So when I was pregnant, actually, I was throwing temper tantrums because I had to have it. What was it? Medium well.
Okay.
And
so you
I was not happy.
Your steak to a hamburger.
Yes. I was like, it's a weapon practically at that point. And I thought, this isn't fair just because, I get it with, doctors
Now, was this with both children of yours?
Both children, yes.
Interesting.
I went a little more rogue with my second because, first one turned out just fine. Yeah. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to live on the edge a little bit more with my second. So, yeah.
Now, and I know your children. We go to the same gym, folks. Just so you know. So, their kiddos join us at the gym every now and then, and one of them especially likes to critique my form a little bit at times. And I assume she does this in just natural life.
Yes, she critiques my parenting and my choices and all the time. Consequences, outfits. Yeah, everything.
And that makes sense, right? So I love the fact that you guys bring your family into things as well.
Yeah.
Right? And I actually think, is it Mike's mom that actually works at the store as well?
Yes, yeah. She's there, my gosh, Wednesday through Saturday some days. Yeah. So it's really cool that we have, another Grillo in there that people have come to know as Mama Grillo, of course. And so she has made a bunch of the sides that we have in there. She knows the store, top to bottom. She probably knows more than Mike does, to be honest, just as far as some of the
Sorry,
small
Mike.
things go through.
Yeah.
Right.
But give your mom credit.
Yes.
Always.
And she is, quote, retired. But she started out just kind of popping into the store just to help out in our first year, which, as a small business, the first year is the hardest. And Mike was there.
Well, there's a
7
lot of
days a
learnings
week.
that go on.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't care how good you are. It's a different realm when you do your own thing.
And you can think you're prepared until it's just you.
Yeah.
And so.
Which is exciting too.
Yes.
But it's also like, whoa.
Terrifying.
I always thought that somebody just they clean the office when I was gone.
Right. Like who does that? What do you mean I do these things?
Oh.
Yeah. When we're out of something, you mean that I have to order it?
Oh, you have to order things.
Right. Who do I call?
It's amazing. Wait, there's all these forms and
right. When there's inclement weather, how do I wear my hair?
Yeah.
It's just very confusing.
There's a lot of things that you have to think about, right? So absolutely. So, and you are kind of in, as a family business, it also, there's a business side of it, but it's also just, it's so much of your personal too. It intertwines with your personal life.
Yes, of course. Yeah. It was something that I tried to prepare myself as best I could.
Yeah.
But at the time, our son was only a couple months old. And so once COVID happened and we realized that the gym industry was not going to be the same, we kind of had to pivot and pivot quickly. So I was still teaching, of course, but teaching from home because of COVID. And so Mike had we'd always tossed around that idea about a butcher shop with kind of like a whiskey side to it too.
So it was the butcher shop first and foremost, or
you know what? It started that way.
Yeah.
Like in our name, it's fine meat and whiskeys. But I honestly do think that the whiskey's kind of taken on its own. Like it's an animal in its own.
Well, you have a whiskey club.
That is true.
Do you have a meat club?
We don't.
Well,
we could definitely start one.
All right, we need to start a meat club, I think. Yeah.
I mean, we definitely have more bourbon in the house than meat, if that says anything. I mean, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. So I'd say the bourbon side's kind of taking over the meat, but they definitely go hand in hand. I think who barbecues and doesn't have some sort of a cocktail? And if you don't, that's okay too. No judgment.
Sure.
But I feel like whenever that weather hits and that grill gets fired up,
right,
you got the spatula in one hand and you got the drink in the other.
It makes sense.
It just
sometimes you
makes
can combine the things together too.
Absolutely.
Right? So,
yep.
Absolutely. All right. So now this newest adventure, this is, and you talked a little about kind of blending in things that you really liked, and that's kind of why the whiskey comes in too. Well, now the latest, according to the social media world out there, is a pretty cool little thing. You're expanding, and your neighbor's moving out, and so you've got an opportunity,
taken over,
and I love it. So talk about this next adventure.
Yeah. So we are starting something new called Birdies and Barrels.
Yeah.
Even when I think the shop was probably in its second or third year, we thought, man, it'd be really cool to have like a lounge area, somewhere that people can, purchase bourbon, but then have somewhere cool to go and sit, relax, watch sports. Because Mike and I are huge sports fans, and so it kind of goes hand in hand. And so, whenever we got word that the neighbors next to the shop were moving out, we thought, let's, kind of look into what the space could be turned into. And so Mike and I are huge golfers. It gets a little competitive, overly competitive at times.
Well, so is it based on the dress? Because you guys also dress really sharp on the golf course.
Let's be real.
Well.
I golf because I love it, but I also golf because I love golf clothes. And we always say, when you look good, you play good.
You know, I 100%. Couldn't agree with you more.
And so in my summer breaks from teaching, every Wednesday, which is also Mike's only day off, we golf. And so it starts off as a nice, relaxing morning. We're on the course. Things are going great. We're just having some kid-free time until one of us has a blow-up hole, and then it's just...
Yeah.
We don't talk for a few holes, and then we're back on track again. It's great. It really is. Yeah. So anyhow, we are huge sports fans. We love golf. So we thought, why not take advantage of this new crazy cool trend of indoor golf simulators? And so we've been to some area places that are a kind of a similar idea. But of course, we're going to bring in that bourbon side to it and kind of mold the two together, just like the meat and the whiskey next door.
Well, I mean, I know you guys are big golfers. You're big, barbecue enthusiasts. I know Mike talks about it all the time, and does great things there. And then obviously he's taught me more about whiskey than I ever knew, which I started at a very low level. So
you were a sponge.
It was very easy. But I had a good teacher. Yeah. So that makes a difference, right?
Just don't tell them that.
As you can appreciate being a teacher yourself. Yeah. So it makes sense to, take that next thing, right? Now you got the trifecta of things that you enjoy in your life.
Right. So it's like we might as well just move there, you know, have some cots in the back.
We're working on that here, right? So we created this place here very similar. Like we didn't want to create a financial office that was just,
like the norm.
There's, there's all these offices out there and they're on every single corner. I don't need to name the name of them, but you know who I'm talking about.
Right, yeah.
Right. So they all look the same. They all get the same service. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. We're doing something very different. You mentioned lounge. I wanted a lounge. Like when I was building this place, the construction folks were like, oh yeah, you can put the stock market channel over here. I'm like, no. We're going to put people's names.
You can go home and watch that.
Yeah. Welcome. Right. Welcome. We're going to sit on the couch in front of the fireplace and have a real conversation.
Yeah, because you're talking about things that are sometimes hard and uncomfortable.
It's not always easy. Right. And people get nervous talking about finances.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Right. There's always one person that's kind of more involved in it than the other.
Yes, like myself.
Yeah. But that's okay. Are you the leader in the financial
Absolutely
side of
not.
No,
absolutely not.
That's okay.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, well, there's usually that role. And
absolutely,
and it's totally normal. Yeah. Really. It totally is.
He took the reins and I am okay with it.
That's it. And that's great because you take the reins in other ways.
Yes, right? I agree. Yeah.
But at the same point in time, when you started this business, I guarantee you there was hey, I think I want to do this, but what do you think? There were a little bit, was it a permission kind of a thing?
I don't know so much about a permission, but more of am I absolutely out of my mind or should I go ahead and do this? And so there were many times where we would sit down outside and we would have, our glass of bourbon and he'd look at me and he'd say, Lindsey, is this the right thing? And I would look at him and I'd say, well, there's no better other time than right now in the middle of COVID to try it out, right? Yeah. We're either going to sink or we're going to float. And I think people see our established date as 2020 and they're like, man, that was a pretty silly time to open up a business. And it's like, but from our perspective, not that we didn't have any other choice. We were in a very pivotal time in his career
because you guys came from the fitness world,
correct?
Really.
Yeah,
and and people don't think about that when you think about the COVID stuff and all that happened there and shutting down the world economy, blah 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 blah. Think about fitness professionals.
It completely changed the fitness world as we know it.
Absolutely,
completely. Yeah, I think it's crazy. It's just now really showing signs of recovery. To be honest, so those big box gyms are starting to really gain those people back.
And the big box gyms had a hard time too because they didn't have that niche.
Exactly.
Base,
people were scared. Yeah.
They don't have that personal connection.
Right.
Whereas, and I know you and I both go to the gym that has that more niche feel.
Yeah.
Which we appreciate that local vibe.
Of course. Yeah.
So, which is what you guys are really creating at Grillo's as well.
Yes. We're trying to just target those people that just want something a little bit different.
Yeah.
Things that they still love and can do with their friends, with family. But that is, again, like it has just that little spark in there that someone else might not be able to provide.
Well, you get a little bit of a different service experience.
Yes.
You just do, right? And the recipes, for example, I know you guys have some recipes that are in your cases that are homemade recipes.
Yes. Well, I mean, I would say about 75% or so are either things that we've just come up with, or of course, Mama Grillo has come up with. Yeah. And we obviously don't put anything in our case that we haven't tried first.
Right.
So it's things that we love. Mike and I are both huge foodies.
Yeah.
So anything that we put out there is something that we love to enjoy every night of the week also.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, all right. So this golf simulation world, what I think is so cool about that, and I'm a terrible golfer. I am.
Don't ever admit that, though.
Oh, no, it's okay. I don't, because you know what? I don't spend enough time doing it.
Yeah.
So
well, you don't have a lot of time to do it.
I don't.
Yeah.
And I'm also a cyclist. I ride bikes. Okay. And so I'm like, well, if I'm going to mountain bike or I'm going to do golf, like both of them take enough time to where you have to put time into it to keep fresh.
But one definitely burns way more calories than the other.
I don't know. You know, it depends. There's, you could. Either way, you're getting out and getting out.
That's true.
And enjoying
Very
yourself.
true.
And I think the hobby thing, that's the most important thing. Find a hobby that you enjoy.
That makes you happy. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you're able to combine it, which is great. But what's cool about the golf simulator world is you don't have to have the same level of expertise out there to go out and participate and have some fun. Correct.
Yeah. So I think with the golf simulator world, and I think it's a huge upcoming thing, is that you don't have to be great at it.
Yeah.
It's just a great place that you can come with your friends, your family. You can even rent it out, where you're going to have an option. You can rent out the entire place. It's great for like bachelor parties, birthday parties. I mean, anything you can think of. And I think it's a place that you can just come together with friends that have just like-minded, that they like interesting cocktails. They like the bourbon world, but they like sport, because we're going to have sports on TV all the time there. We're going to have it's just a place where people can get together, have a good time, but still be relaxing enough that if they're terrible at golf, great. If you're great at golf, great. It's just a place to get together.
You're able to hang out and socialize.
Exactly.
And that's what life's all about, right? So now, all right. So professionally, you are also a full-time teacher in the wonderful St. Louis school systems.
Yeah.
So PE teaching. So how has that transitioned over time?
Wow, that's actually a really good question. So I'm in year 15, I think. And
you're about ready to retire from the teaching world,
I hope so. I'm ready. I am ready. A full-time golf simulator coach, if you will.
Go.
So when I started 15 years ago, I honestly wouldn't say it's all that different.
Yeah.
It's still the same.
COVID was weird.
It was. Teaching through a computer screen while in my living room was different.
Did you tell him to do jumping jacks?
We did. And I would start out doing it with him. Then I was like, you know what? I look insane. And I was also doing it, in between feedings of my newborn, because I had a fresh baby at the time. And so I thought, I'm going to just find some cool videos. I'm going to record myself and just post these videos, because me doing things live, I had a dog in the background. It was just too much. So I improvised for sure. I learned, how to teach virtually for several months. Wasn't my favorite time, but boy, I did like being at home.
Yeah.
And not having to, be up at 5 a.m. out the door in my car. I will say that. And I didn't have to put on like actual pants every day, which is, everyone's dream, right? So that was
I don't know.
Nice.
Every time I see you, you got a cool outfit on there, doing something.
Again, like I said, you look good.
Now I know what your podcast outfit looks like.
Yeah. Comfort yet cool.
That's right. Yeah. Smooth.
But yeah, I think PE in general hasn't really changed. I'd say the education world has changed, yes, with, of course, politics and the pressures of just society in general.
Yeah.
But I'd say, luckily, the PE world has kind of survived the test of time.
Sure.
We're still teaching those core values of just being out there, being active, sportsmanship.
Well, and being part of that and enjoying that yourself, I'm sure, is part of that.
Yes.
And it helps too.
Yeah. It's pretty easy to teach those things when you model those things in your own personal life.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. All right. So who's the better golfer?
While it pains me thoroughly to say this out loud.
Do you guys bet?
We don't. The things we bet on, I really can't discuss.
Nice.
But in general, unfortunately, I would have to say he is a much better golfer. Now, mind you, he is also 6 years older than me. So he's had 6 extra years.
That's right. Well, and so that's going to change.
Yeah, you give me those 6 years back, and I just might be on the tour.
Well, eventually you will.
Yeah.
And now do you do the handicap thing or no? You don't want that?
He does. But when we first started, I'd say 6 or 7 years ago, he would give me about a stroke a hole. And now he doesn't anymore, because
that's just rude.
I'm just better now than I was.
Well, there you go. Well, good.
So luckily I have earned my spot on a lot of the foursome teams that we play on, because, being a female, we do have the advantage of our tee boxes being quite a bit closer.
Yeah.
And with my well above average female driving ability because I'm a former collegiate softball player. So I transitioned into the nice lifetime sport of golf from softball. So it was an easy segue. So I think him knowing that I could drive the ball further than some men can, I think he was always like, well, hey, Lindsey can play.
Yeah.
And so it's usually Lindsey and 3 dudes just whacking away.
I will tell you, he looks pretty good on the golf course. He wears some cool pink pants. He's got like the, what is it? It's oh man, why am I having a brain freeze right now?
The shorts?
No, his shorts are usually the black short, the pink shorts, bright pink, and Harry the Henderson. What the heck was he? The You're Too Young. Oh my God! See? Oh come on, the Sasquatch.
Sasquatch, yeah, that wearing the flamingo floaty.
Oh, and the flamingo floaty.
He's very proud of that one.
It looks good. He looks good on the golf course, but you still look better. So
I do really appreciate that.
You beat him there.
Although there was one tournament that I had told Mike, that if I had hit a certain approach shot closer to the pin than he did, I had an extra golf skirt in my bag. And I said, if I am closer, or it was either that or if I outdrove him on that hole, he had to make his next shot wearing my golf skirt. And? He wore the golf skirt.
I'm sure he
wore the golf skirt.
It makes sense that he would own it.
With pride, to be honest. He put it on over his pants, and it was actually on St. Patrick's Day, so he had orange pants on.
Fantastic.
With a nice green skirt.
Oh, it's perfect. It matches well.
Festive.
Yes, very festive. Mm-hmm. And that makes sense.
And of course, I got it on video.
Well, you should. Yeah.
Forever.
Do you post it every St. Patrick's Day?
You know what? I haven't every year, but I will.
Well,
now.
I mean, it's coming up.
It really is.
Yeah, so it's timely, and I'm glad I was able to remind you of that.
Really, yeah.
So that's perfect.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, do you think that the kiddos are going to get in? Now, they're too young to get into the whiskey business at this point in time. Although
they love working up there.
Good.
Mike really puts them to work, though. If they're going to be up there and distract the heck out of him, they ring people out sometimes.
I love it.
With his oversight, of course.
Well, we're not talking about child labor laws. We're
exactly.
Okay here.
We are complying with all those things.
Make sure we understand that first and foremost.
And they're not handling raw meat. Everyone calm down. And if they do, they're wearing gloves. Calm down. But they do ring people out. They bring the bread out from the cooler out to the shelves. They help us restock.
Well, as somebody that sees Henley on a fairly frequent basis, she knows what she's doing, and she will tell you if you're not doing it properly. Tell you. Yeah. So she critiques my form at the gym quite often.
Bless her heart.
So, and she's not wrong, probably. So
I mean, she does have her daddy as a coach too. So yeah.
So I guess it's just weird coming from a first grader,
a tiny person. Yeah.
But But hey, I can't, twirl on the rings like she can. So,
that is very true. Yeah.
There's that.
Mike sent me a video of her doing like the splits with both feet in a ring. And I'm like, it's only like 7:30 a.m.
Really?
Calm down.
See, that's my Wednesday evenings. I do that all the time.
After hours.
Yes.
After hours, folks.
So no, I couldn't do that stuff. It's crazy.
Well, you couldn't get back out of the ring.
That's probably the problem. I've never tried. I don't think I'm
without Stacy's help, of course.
No, I don't think. I think she'd just leave me alone.
She would take pictures of you first, and then she'd probably help you.
And then leave. She'd probably leave out. He's not going to be home for a while.
Yeah.
All right. So I know you just like we did. So we just got a new puppy, and he's obviously really cute. You are a few weeks older than our experience, so you're a few weeks ahead.
Yeah.
So how's the new baby? Fur baby.
He is extremely busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's putting it nicely. Yeah. He, honestly, we got him when he was, 9 weeks old.
Okay.
So, which is actually a lot younger than most people will
we got
be able
ours
to
when
adopt.
he was 8 weeks old.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, then, so you guys understood.
Very fresh. Tiny, little, sharp puppy teeth.
Oh, yeah. Ours still has them.
Don't tell
They're
me
vicious.
that. Vicious. So I just found out, I just looked this morning.
Yeah.
January 1st was our birthday for our puppy. So he's very
November
very
21st.
Young. So you're like what is that, a month and a half?
Yeah, was he 12-ish? No, a little older than 12 weeks.
So
something like that. But yeah, he's a good dog. He is. Like I said earlier, he does love me more.
Yeah, well that's clear.
He does listen to me more.
Do you feed him?
We kind of take turns.
You
Depends on who's home at that time. Yeah.
Okay.
But I think it's because I was the one that went and saw him from the rescue center where I got him from.
Yep.
I was the first one that got to, I guess, quote, like imprint on him, if you will. So I think he clings to me a little bit more. I think it's my voice, maybe the way that I smell a little more than Mike. And also Mike is the
you
disciplinarian.
Smell better than Mike. I mean, you do.
On most days.
So.
Most days, yes. Most days. But yeah, I think Mike is more of the disciplinarian. He's the scruffer.
Well, you got to have a role.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Whereas I'm like, don't scruff my dog like that. He didn't mean to pee in the middle of the floor.
Yeah, but he did, though.
He did, because I'm sure he just went outside.
Somebody's got to be the disciplinarian.
I know, it's hard to watch.
But it's good. There's balance there.
Yes.
So, but potty training's going well.
It honestly is.
They're worse than kids, aren't they?
Because you just never know.
Yeah.
And I have to follow him outside to make sure that he actually goes. Because what if he's like fake peeing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So unless
they get distracted by a leaf or something.
Oh my God. And then they chase it.
It's ridiculous.
And with this Missouri weather recently, it could be 70 and sunny and he loves it. Or like yesterday and it was a blizzard and
this
he
is the time of
hated
year
it.
for that, isn't it? This is kind of that awful enigma of a year in the St. Louis area.
Yes.
This is the frustrating time because we think, hey, it's great, we're here, and then all of a sudden, bam,
They just
one more
rip it out from under
snowstorm.
us. Yes.
I
thought that last 12 inches was it.
Yeah. But
And then yesterday came.
But we're still March. So we're probably, we're going to get more. We're going to get one more.
Don't you talk like that.
I'm sorry. But
It's not happening.
We do, don't we? We get one more. And it doesn't last long. It's what happens.
We've paid our dues.
Just to be like, but we have. This year has been awful.
And
It's
if
been
we have
super
another
cold.
snow day, we're going to be in school until 4th of July.
Oh, you guys are out, aren't you?
I think, are more than out.
Yeah.
So
I think
they
you are.
might have us come back. I mean, we're already come back after Memorial Day.
Yeah.
But I think we might have to go back into like that first week of June.
Now, what do you think about these AMI days that you have these days?
I totally understand them.
Yeah.
For the sake of not having to bring those kids back and those teachers back in the summer when everyone's kind of mentally done and checked out.
And
so I get it.
The snow day thing is tough because you are mentally done and checked out.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I think
you almost kind of make up curriculum at that time.
Right. I think the challenge that I've seen is what everyone else I've seen on Facebook that's already apparent in working is, so say Henley has a snow day and I have a snow day, but maybe hers is an AMI day. And so I have to be, helping her while also doing my job. And then if you throw the crazy 5-year-old in there who knows no chill, it's hard. It's very hard. And so I understand and I really sympathize for those moms and dads that are at home working from home full time. Mm-hmm. And when those kids are off school, like your job does not stop.
It's an interesting dynamic that we've thrown in there.
Lot to
With
juggle.
technology, it's kind of cool that we can do these things. There's some value for sure.
Yeah.
From an efficiency perspective, but it's also just like, man,
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
And now, as you know, right, you guys both have, full-time careers. Mm-hmm. Both of you do. And sometimes you have to kind of, it's my time right now or Mike's time right now or all that kind of stuff. It's a balancing act.
Yes. And luckily we are a really good team when it comes to, so say one of the kids is sick.
Yeah.
Certain days of the week are easier for him to stay home.
Right.
Like if Mama Grillo is there at the shop, it's easier for him to stay home if one of the kids is sick. But on Monday, Tuesdays, he's up there just banging it out by himself.
Yeah.
So it's hard for him to leave on Monday, Tuesday. So we take turns in that sense. But in regards to just like seasons of life, I know that right now this is his time. It's his time to really pursue those things that he's always thought about going after. And it's my role and my time to just like fully back him and kind of just be there, be his cheerleader, be his sounding board, be his voice of reason, be the one that makes his drink in the kitchen and brings it to him because he's about to walk off a cliff. Yeah,
it's hard sometimes,
yeah.
but it's so fun. It's so rewarding, and you're a part of it, which is also awesome. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the expansion goes.
Yes, us too.
It's going to be neat.
Yeah.
So, you guys got a time frame yet?
He is shooting for, I want to say May 1st to be in time for the Masters, which if you watch golf, it's a big, exciting time of year.
I love it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, hey, thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
I
It was a
love
blast.
it. This is awesome. All right. So Grillo's Chop and Barrel over in Lake St. Louis. Check them out.
Yeah, come see us.
It's going to be, you will not be disappointed. Great quality stuff. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Well, oh boy, thank you, Lindsey, for joining us in studio, because I got to tell you, time sure does fly when you are having fun. And I am fortunate. I love what I do. I get to have conversations like this each and every day with retirees, pre-retirees, business owners, and it is super exciting to hear everyone's unique stories. So come on in, schedule some time. I'd love to hear your story. SerenityWealthNow.com. Set up some time to get together and hang out in the Serenity Wealth Now Lounge. That's SerenityWealthNow.com.
Serenity Now!
This is Serenity Wealth Now with Chris Cooper. Request a free copy of Chris's latest book, The New Holistic Retirement, by visiting SerenityWealthNow.com.
Investment advice offered through Fortis Capital Advisors, LLC.
Serenity Now!